Hi, and welcome back to another Dice Tower review. I'm Judy, and this is Michael from the Nerd Shelves. Today we're going to talk about Enchanted Plumes. It's a card game for 2 to 5 players, and it takes about 30 to 50 minutes.
It was designed by Brendan Hansen and published by Calliope Games.
Let's see how it plays.
Strive to complete magical peacocks by creating plumes of colorful feathers. Match cards from row to row to create the most valuable peacocks. The player with the most valuable plumes is bestowed the luck of the peacock in Enchanted Plumes.
The object of Enchanted Plumes is to create peacocks by placing cards from your hand, which represent the feathers. Players play cards from their hand, replenish cards by drawing from the deck or swapping from the train, and continue until peacock card is drawn, which is shuffled into the bottom 7 cards of the deck and ends the game right away when drawn. Once the peacock card is drawn, players score their peacocks by adding and subtracting values and receiving bonuses for completed peacocks, and the player with the most points is the winner.
On their turn, players may play 1 or 2 cards from their hand by adding to an existing plume, starting a new peacock, or one of each in any order. Peacocks are always created from top to bottom, and each row can be as wide as you want and contain any number of colors and multiple cards of each color. However, once a new row has been started, no cards can be added to the row above. And, as a catch, all cards in the top row will be worth negative points. So you want to try to play low-value cards in the top.
To start a new row, play any card, as long as that color is somewhere in the row above. It doesn't need to be exactly above the card, but anywhere in a row. And each row will be one less card than the row directly above it. Once a peacock has a row of 2 cards, the final card is placed at the bottom, but is flipped over and hidden from all other players. Same placement rule apply, but this locks the peacock and score bonus points at the end of a game. Players can also start a new peacock at any time by placing a card by itself to start the top row. There's no limit to how many peacocks you can have or how many are not complete at the same time.
After playing 1 or 2 cards from their hand, the player replenishes their hand by either drawing exactly 2 cards from the deck, swapping 2 cards from their hand with a card from the face-up train, or drawing 1 card and swapping 1 card in any order. There is a hand limit of 6 cards though, so if you already have 6 cards, you must swap from the train.
Play continues until the peacock card is revealed, which was previously shuffled into the bottom 7 cards of the deck, and immediately ends the game and players score their peacocks.
All players flip over the bottom row cards and all peacocks score whether completed or not. Cards in the top row are worth negative points. All remaining cards are positive points, and any completed peacock scores a bonus point for every card in the plumes, including the top row. The player with the most points is the winner of Enchanted Plumes. So that is Enchanted Plumes, and I must say that I was really surprised by how much I enjoyed this one.
I love it.
Yeah.
It is so fun.
Yeah, totally. So what do you think?
Okay, I really enjoy it. When we place the feather card to make the plume, the card you put down has to match one of the color in the row above it.
Right.
Not necessarily the 2 cards directly above it.
Right.
And that is really cool. They give you a lot of opportunities to put down your color. As the row goes down, there are less cards. So you have less choices to choose from.
Yes.
And that's dangerous.
It is. You can really paint yourself into a corner because as you're playing the cards you have available, but like you said, you're getting less options. Sometimes I found myself maybe playing 2 red cards in that row, and all of a sudden that's the only option I have to play cards under it.
And then you were so close to just finish that peacock plume, but you just couldn't because of the choice of colors, right?
You might not have enough cards left in the deck. Maybe
Yeah.
all of the red cards were used in other people's peacocks because the cards are
Exactly.
limited. So you can really, really paint yourself into a corner, so to
Yes,
speak.
I love that.
Yeah.
Also, at the end of your turn, you can either pick 2 cards from the deck that's face down,
Mm-hmm.
or pick 2 cards, swap it from the train with the ones on your hand.
Yes, yeah.
Or 1 each. And that
Yeah.
gives you more chance
Yeah.
to build your engines because you can use those cards in later turn.
Yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah.
the other way that we got caught was if there's a hand limit of 6. So
Yes.
if you already have 6 cards in your hand, you have to swap. You don't have a choice.
You don't.
You either take 2 cards or swap, but you have to. That's the rule. So even if you don't want to, you have all the cards you want, you think, uh-oh, I have to swap these cards because I have a hand limit of 6. I can't just take more cards.
Yeah, you gotta play very carefully.
You have to plan very carefully.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. And the part that I love the most about this game,
Mm-hmm.
and it's very interesting, and I haven't really seen this before, but the top row of all of the peacocks are negative points.
So what do you do? Probably the lower numbers on the card.
Yes,
right?
you're trying to put the zeros and ones
Yes.
up on the top, but sometimes you don't really have a choice. But that also brings another decision you have to make because you can make your peacocks that top row as big as you want, as wide as you want.
Yes.
So if you make a wide top row, then your peacock is going to have many feathers as it goes down,
More points.
which is going to get you a lot more points.
Yes.
But if you get stuck at the end of the game, not finishing that peacock, you have all those cards in the top row, which are negative points.
Yeah.
So
What do you do, right?
Right. You really have to, it's a balancing act of finding that perfect size of peacock where maybe 4 or 5 feathers at the top. And depending on where you are in the game, late in the game, you don't want to start trying to build a big peacock.
Yes.
And don't forget, you also get bonus points for finishing the peacocks too.
Yes. So you can easily just do 2 or 3 cards
Yep.
and then finish that 1 peacock
Absolutely.
and collect all the finished points.
Yes.
Different strategies.
Different strategies.
Yes.
Exactly. And the game ends somewhere in the last 7 cards because that peahen card is shuffled into the last 7 cards. And once that shows up, you don't get another turn.
Yeah, that's it.
As soon as it shows up, game's done.
If you're lucky, you might have time if it's at the very bottom.
Right. But you don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
Yeah, there were a lot of interesting choices in this
Yes.
game. And let's not forget, it looked beautiful on the table.
Yes.
It's a bit of a table hog.
Well, if you build a lot of peacocks.
Yeah, exactly. I wasn't expecting it to take up so much table space, but it did.
Yes.
So,
I love that.
what are your final thoughts?
Well, I enjoyed this very much and all the fun in a small box.
Yes.
I enjoy it so much. I love it.
Yes. Oh, I 100% agree with you. I love small box games that feel like a lot of game in a small box.
It's simple, but it's thinky. And not to mention, the art is beautiful.
It is beautiful and easy to teach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you? What do you think?
I agree with you 100% on everything you just said. I think it's fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah. And that is Enchanted Plumes. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.